Welcome to the Andy Ruther Show. Here is your host, Andy Ruther.
Welcome back to the Andy Ruther Show. That is me, Andy Ruther, coming to you from the natty, the nasty natty, the Cincinnati, the smelly natty, the humid natty. You know, I wonder if Cincinnati, I feel like, have they ever done a promotion with Natural Light, Natty Light? Well, that would make sense, right? I don't think I've ever seen anything. Like, how has Natural Light, I don't know what that would mean. Do they do like special 513? That's the area code here. Like 513 cans? I don't know. I just think Natural Light in Cincinnati, natty. Come on. Come on, guys. Come on. You're missing. This is an easy slam dunk. This is an easy, very easy marketing slam dunk. Natural Light in Cincinnati. Do natty branded cans. I don't know what they look like. I don't know if you try to partner with one of the sports teams, the Reds or the Bengals. I don't know. I just think there's something there. Natural Light, Cincinnati. I don't know. The kids don't drink alcohol, so who knows? I don't know what to do for you kids. We're gonna get to the kids later. Again, we're gonna get to some things today. The kids are losing their mind everywhere. The adults are losing their mind. We're doing adult pacifiers. I saw this. Adult pacifiers. I saw this tweet from Dexerto, don't know, don't care. Adult-sized pacifiers priced up to $70 are growing in popularity in China as a way to relieve stress and anxiety. Some shops claim they sell over 2,000 a month. Adults with pacifiers. This is where we're at as society. We have fully regressed. Grown-ass adults are now acting like babies. Grown-ass adults don't know how to handle their stress, so they are acting like babies. Absolutely wild to me. I got a 2.5-year-old and I got a kid who's about to turn 7 months. So I got two kids dealing with this. My 2.5-year-old, we need to get her off the pacifier. That's the irony of me seeing this. Like, we're behind. She's the only kid in her room at daycare that wants a pacifier. Now, we tell him she's not allowed to have it during the day. She can have it at nap. We're trying to get her off it. She's too old. I tell her all the time, Isla, you don't need that. You're too old. It's her little security. I get it. But she's too old. You don't need it. Look, you're upset. You're not feeling good. You're bothered. There's other ways to cope. It's not the pacifier. It's just not the pacifier at this stage. And you know, the truth is, we got to figure something out. We're a little behind on this. We got to figure something out for her. But we're talking adults putting in pacifiers. I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know if I'm just going to take them away. My buddy's wife did something pretty savage. She told me when their daughter couldn't give up the passy, she pulled up each passy. That's what we call it, the passy for her. Some people call it the binky. She pulled up each pacifier and cut it with scissors right in front of the kid. That's some mind game stuff right there. That's some mental game. That's some psychological stuff to mess with your kid. So she cut the pacifiers right in front of the kids. Now, I don't know if I have to do that. Some people told me I can just cut the pacifier and then put them back in her bed or put them wherever she has them, and she'll realize there's no suction on them. So we have to figure that out as a couple, right? Me and Brittany have to figure out what we're going to do, how we're going to get Isla off the pacifier. What's ironic is our 7-month-old does not do pacifiers, which sucks at times because there's nothing to soothe her. There's nothing to relax her. But I know in the long run, it'll be better that she didn't get hooked on a pacifier because we're seeing it right now with Isla. We're seeing it. She's addicted to the damn pacifier. Anytime she's upset or you tell her, no, you're not watching TV, which, by the way, addicted to Paw Patrol. Addicted. It's a problem. We might have to go the Miss Rachel route. We cut off Miss Rachel, cold turkey. It was like heroin for her. No, no more. She couldn't transition from Miss Rachel to bath or Miss Rachel to lunch, Miss Rachel to daycare, whatever it was. She didn't want to let it go. And that's how it is with Paw Patrol. Just absolutely addicted. Wakes up, Paw Patrol, and she says it as one word. She go, Paw Patrol? Paw Patrol? I'm like, Paw Patrol. She's addicted. So I haven't let her watch. She hasn't watched. Today's Thursday. She hasn't watched it since Tuesday. I said, you're not watching any tomorrow. And we'll see. I didn't let her watch any this morning before daycare. I'm like, you have a problem. You're addicted to Paw Patrol. I get it. There's some cool characters. It's a fun show, but you can't be addicted. So then she wants to put in her passy, right? She's upset. She's mad at me. She's crying. We're talking adults, though, guys. Adults with pacifiers. Let's pull up this news story. Of course, straight out of the New York Post. Stressed adults rely on pacifiers to soothe themselves. I feel a sense of safety from childhood. It's a big business on the Chinese e-commerce giants like Tabo, and JD.com, where they are priced anywhere from a budget-friendly $1.40 American to the luxury pacifiers, $70. They're sold as sleep aids, stress relievers, even smoking cessation tools, and shoppers are gobbling them up. Some online sellers move thousands each month, according to the South China Morning Post. And the fans aren't shy about why. When I'm under stress at work, I feel a sense of safety from childhood, one Chinese buyer said, as reported by the outlet. Really? You feel a sense of safety from childhood? Childhood when you were probably working in a Nike factory? You want to go back to those? That safety that you felt? Guys, go for a walk. Just, the walk cures a lot. How many times am I going to preach this? We are not putting pacifiers. Dude, if I see somebody with a pacifier in their mouth as an adult, I instinctively will want to knock it out. I just want, what are you doing? What are these people doing? You don't revert back to basic baby needs. And some people are coming out. Doctors are saying if you sleep with a pacifier in your mouth, it can interfere with breathing. And in the worst case, there's a risk of suffocation. Some users are saying it helps with their ADHD and it works for me. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what to do for you guys. I don't know what to do for you if you need an adult pacifier. Maybe just life isn't for you. I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's a million alternatives than an adult pacifier. There's a million things you can do to relieve your stress. And I keep coming back to just go. Can you go for a walk? Can you rub one out somewhere real quick? I don't know. Rub one out. You always feel better. Just rub one out real quick. Relieve that stress. You probably can't do that at work. And I don't know. I just feel like nobody can handle. Guys, life is full of stress. Life is full of stress. It's part of it. It's not all roses. It's not all roses, guys. Life will throw you some curveballs, throw you some difficult stuff. Don't be putting an adult pacifier on. Don't do that. Don't do that. What would be worse if you found your worker with an adult pacifier or shooting up heroin? Like I'm trying to think, what would bother me worse as a boss? Probably the pacifier, to be honest. I'd be like, what are you doing? Ah, baby. What are you doing? Nobody knows how. It's funny because nobody knows how to handle it. I've said this before and I'll say it again. There are such little things you can do. Put together a list. I have it. I have it in a little journal somewhere. Like 20 things I can do if I'm stressed or not feeling good or want to relieve some anxiety. There's like such basic things that you can do. A pacifier should not be one of them. Also, it does mess up your teeth. It does. That's the thing with our daughter, our 2.5-year-old, right? It's like you got to get rid of the pacifier. Your teeth are pretty jacked up. Luckily, these are your baby teeth, and they're going to fall out. Your teeth are pretty jacked up. My brother's a dentist. He was telling me about that. It's like, it's not good for their teeth. You're always sucking on the pacifier. It's not good for your teeth. So especially as an adult, don't do that. I get it. Look, we don't live in an easy age. We don't live in an easy age. You know, the cost of living it's absolutely insane. And you hear people talk about it, but I feel like you don't really fully hear people talk about it. You hear politicians are like, oh, it's in uncharted territory, basically. I don't think people realize. I went to ChatGPT. I had to do it. I was like, dude, cost of living on everything across the board is so ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I saw this post. Did you guys see this? I saw this post on Twitter. It was a screenshot of a Five Guys meal. It said $72 for 5 burgers, small fry, and a drink. Thoughts? $72. Look at this. This is the meal. 5 burgers, of fries, and a milkshake. Let's zoom in on this. Let's zoom in on the receipt. Now, I did notice some things are blurred out. I don't know what state this is. Obviously, price is going to vary on state, and that franchisees can set up their different prices on things. I did notice this receipt is from, it looks like 6/16 or 6/18/24. So it's about a year old. $72 for 5 guys. 2 little cheeseburgers. What is the price on this? $18.78. They literally say 2 little cheeseburgers, $18.78. 2 cheeseburgers priced at $11.59 each. $11.59 for a cheeseburger. Large fry, $7.69. A milkshake, $6.49. Subtotal before taxes, $67.73. This is absolutely insane to me. Can you imagine walking into a Five Guy for a family of 5 and you get 5 burgers, only 1 fry, and 1 drink, and it cost you $72? So here's the thing. There's a few things at play here. One, inflation is real. We're seeing it. So all the costs have gone up for everybody, from the food that's coming in, they have to raise the prices, to, just everything across the board. Inflation is up. But also, price gouging is real too. I don't know the numbers. I work on the social media side of the food and beverage industry right now. I don't know the exact margins on Five Guys and what they're making. They charge $11.69 for a burger. I don't know what they're taking home. They're taking a lot home, though. I'll just say that much. You're taking a lot home. You don't need to charge $11.69 for a cheeseburger. A cheeseburger. $11.69. It's absolutely insane. So it goes to my point. I've said on this show, you got to give me something. It's a competitive market, especially in the food business, right? You got to give me something. You got to give me an app with rewards. Because at this point, I don't mess with you if you don't. If you're not going to throw me a bone, throw me a few perks, I don't want to mess with you. Case in point, I've talked about this. I like to get pizza for the family on Friday. It's nice. I pick up my 2 little girls from daycare. swing by, get a pie. Brittany comes home from work. It's a nice little family thing. We got me and her, and then we got, again, Isla's only 2.5. So it's like she eats one slice of pizza. That's good for her. We've been getting a local place. I've said this, Mio's. There's like 5 of them in Cincinnati. It's a little chain, small chain in Cincinnati. We get Mio's. We get a large pie. A large pie and 8 wings, usually. And there's some left over. But it's expensive. It is. Even with a coupon, it's expensive, and I'm not getting rewarded. I know I've said this, but I'm not getting rewarded. You don't have any sort of loyalty program for me to consistently go to you, and you can. It's not that difficult to set up. Trust me, I know this. Gold Star launched an app this year. We launched an app this year. It's great. It benefits the users, right? It benefits customers. It rewards people for going to the location, right? Going to the Gold Star. It rewards you. Mio's doesn't offer that. So last Friday, I said, I'm done. I'm done for right now. I said to Brittany, I don't want to mess with it. I don't want to mess with it. There's no rewards. And she said to me, she goes, I think Domino's is doing pretty good deals. I thought, Domino's, it's a chain. Do I really want to do that right now? But she's like, for pickup, there's one right by here. There's one right by here where we live, here in Mount Washington, Cincinnati. I said, okay, let's see what they got. They got those mix and match deals, right? For $5.99. I was like, okay, let's look at this. Got 2, again, it's just 2 adults and a little girl. Got 2 medium pizzas. You can mix and match for $5.99 each. You get their wings, mix and match for $5.99. So anyway, I said this is a lot of food. We don't need all this. But she's like, dude, we're gonna eat it today and tomorrow. That was the other thing. Like, we're gonna have a lot of leftover. So for what I pay normally for Mio's, for 1 large pizza and 1 8-piece of wings, at Domino's, I got 2 medium pizzas and 2 separate 8-piece wings. And here's the kicker. It tasted pretty good. I hadn't had Domino's in a long time, truthfully. Was it as good as the local chain Mio's? No. It wasn't that far off, though. And then we do price point, and you say, I get way more food for basically the same price. It was actually a little cheaper. I get way more food for a little cheaper price, and I got leftovers for tomorrow. I got wings. We got pizza leftover. The point is, things, you got to bring me in, man. On top of that, Domino's has rewards. I literally have been getting an email every single day since. On top of the rewards I got for that day, 50% off your next pizza. You're incentivizing me. This economy is insane. $72 at Five Guys for 5 burgers, 1 large fry, and a milkshake. You're out of your damn mind. I'm just not paying that. People, stop paying. This is my advice to you guys. Dude, if it's overpriced, don't pay it. Just don't pay it. Everything is so, like, I don't think I didn't realize what is happening to the degree of inflation. Why don't I pull it up? Why don't I pull it up? Because I put this in ChatGPT, right? I put it in. Listen to this. Let's look at inflation in the last 20 years. So I put it in from 2005 because that's when I graduated college and I started living on my own. Had to be a big boy, right? Moved out to Las Vegas, got my first job as a teacher. First time I'm paying rent fully on my own. I got a job, all those things. So I put it in. I put it into ChatGPT. Let's look at it. Overall inflation from 2005 to 2025. According to the Consumer Price Index, the CPI, which is the most common used measure, prices in the U.S. have risen 70 to 75% in 20 years. Have wages gone up in 20 years? Yes. They haven't gone up 70 to 75%. Do you guys realize how insane that is? They've gone up 70 to 75%. Here's some key stats. Housing in the last 20 years. Key expensive categories. Let's look at all of them. Housing has gone up 100% in cost of living. Food at home, so groceries, has gone up 64%. Food away from home has gone up 89.8%. Medical care has gone up 149%. College and tuition has gone up 135%. And gasoline has gone up 55%. This is absolutely insane, is my point. Like, I don't think people realize how ridiculously overpriced things are and how much it's gone up. I saw this video from a younger kid talking about, he's probably Gen Z, right? Their generation. And I empathize with them, and I get it. I'm going to pull this up. It's from a younger kid. I just saw it on social. Got like 10 million views.
To stop eating out and rent's $2,000 a month. Oh, save for retirement, and yet you can barely save for next week. Go buy a house. Yep, every house is $500,000, brother. I'm not asking for a handout, man. We're asking for a freaking fair shot at life. Our parents did not work harder than we work right now. They were simply just given a better chance. Their wages covered their lives, their bills, their hobbies, their passions. Our wages barely cover our freaking bills for the month, dude. No amount of budgeting can ever fix a system designed to keep us down. We're doing the best that we can, and yet it feels like the outcome has already been decided.
So shout out to Baker Mayfield Jr. for this. Doesn't he? He's got Baker Mayfield vibes, the way he looks, the way he's like a little fat. He's like a fat younger Baker Mayfield. Shout out to him. Look, there's a lot of truth to what he's saying. There's a lot of truth. Now, I don't know the numbers. I don't know if the average house is $500,000. I'm sure it's not. Definitely not across the country. Rent $2,000. I do have some numbers though. I have some numbers. And we talks about working harder. I don't know. I don't know if you can determine who worked harder. We have it easier for sure. We have it easier. I've said this. Every generation has it easier as far as just life. Right? My parents had it easier than their parents. We have it easier. Just life was more difficult. And maybe people could argue that I'm wrong in that. And that's fair. But like his point holds. And I'll just use myself as a prime example. And I know I've said this. When I graduated college from St. Louis University in 2005 and moved to Las Vegas, my rent in my condo that I lived with another teacher who just bought this condo. My rent was $500. Included everything. Everything all in, utilities, rent, $500. That's 20 years ago. Again, I understand prices go up, but again, it's not going up at the level of people's earnings, the level of people's salaries, the level of people's wages. It's not comparable. It's just not. My rent was $500. I'll tell you what I made. After taxes as a teacher, my check every 2 weeks was for $1,050. So I made $1,050 as a public grade school and high school teacher, Clark County in Nevada, in Las Vegas. So I made $2,100 a month. $2,100 a month as a teacher. Now, obviously, teacher is not a lucrative profession, but do the math, guys. I made $2,100 after taxes. My rent was $500. That puts me at $1,600 left for the month. Food was definitely way less. Going out. The point is, I still had money. His argument holds up. You can't save if everything's so expensive. Off a $2,100 a month salary, I could still literally put a few bucks away. Did I know? I was young and dumb. But I could have still put a few bucks away for investments. I was starting to pay off my college loans, those things, car payments, but I still had a few bucks left over off a teacher's salary. In fact, the guy I lived with was a teacher. He was a 8-year teacher. He was about 8 years older than me. He could afford a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath condo in Las Vegas, a 2-story, nice little condo. We had community pool, community hot tub, and they all do out there because it's too damn hot. But my point is, he can afford that. Dude, you can't, if you're a teacher now graduating high school and you go, you couldn't afford that. You couldn't afford to own. Look at just Cincinnati. I pulled this up on ChatGPT. I said, what is the average rent cost in Cincinnati? Middle of America, not an expensive city. As of early 2025, the average cost of rent in Cincinnati, Ohio is roughly $1,150 to $1,250 per month for all apartment sizes. A 1-bedroom is typically $1,000 to $1,100. So the typical rent here in Cincinnati, Ohio is double than what I paid in Las Vegas 20 years ago. And Las Vegas is definitely a city that's probably more expensive now. But the point holds up. It's this guy's video is just, you don't have to agree with everything, but the point was you could actually buy stuff back then, right? Here's another one for you. Here's an interesting one for you. When I moved in to Savage Town, when I moved into Venice Beach, when I moved into the old Smut Studio, when I got my studio apartment, 390 square foot studio apartment, a block from the beach, I moved in January of 2020. Guess what my rent was? I know exactly what it was. It was $1,050. $1,050 15 years ago to move into a studio apartment, a block from the beach. I got parking. I had a pool, hot tub. Like, I have a nice little setup, right? Great setup for a single dude. Great setup for a young single dude where I could still afford it. $1,050 is what that cost. Let's pull up 15 years later. Let's pull up what it is now. The same exact layout. Okay. I was in apartment unit 244. I have it right here. There's an opening right now for apartment 222. 2 doors down from me. Same exact setup. Studio apartment, 1 bath, 390 square feet. $2,395. So that rent in 15 years has more than doubled. Think about that. To move into the same exact apartment, the same exact setup, in 15 years, it's more than doubled. Again, inflation is going to happen. I understand that. But it's not on pace. It's not on par with what people are earning, their wages, their salary, their income. It's just not on par. It's literally why people are losing their mind. It's why people are shooting up healthcare CEOs because they feel deflated. They already feel defeated before the game even started. So they're like, cool, you guys aren't doing anything about it? Well, I'm just going to start shooting up dudes. The numbers are there. I'm reading them. The numbers don't lie. I look at my own very house. When we got this house 3 years ago, we overpaid. I knew we overpaid because the housing market's insane. We overpaid for our house. According to Zillow, my house has already increased in value 21% in 3 years. That's absolutely insane. In 3 years, my house value has gone up 21%. Now, do I think my house is worth what we could get for it? No. But it doesn't matter what I think because we would get it. That's what the market is saying. The market is saying your house is worth this much money. The market is saying your house has gone up 21% in value in 3 years. We need another housing crisis. We need another 2008 just financial meltdown. That's the truth. That's honestly the truth, so that people could maybe start affording stuff again. We need the economy, we need the housing market to just basically collapse like that so that all the prices drop. I remember when I lived in Las Vegas, it was the same bubble we're in now, where all the housing just keeps increasing and all the value keeps increasing, and you just say to yourself, just like we do now, this isn't sustainable. It can't stay at this rate. And I remember my roommate would say it, my buddies would say it, who owned condos, who were teachers. They'd say, dude, you see the value of my place? It just keeps increasing, keeps increasing, it keeps increasing. And then 2008 happened. And if you've seen The Big Short, it's I got to rewatch it, to be honest. It's pretty fascinating. You remember that scene where they're in Florida and there's just all these empty houses because people can't pay their mortgages? People who should not have had those mortgages, they shouldn't have had those houses. And it's like a ghost town. I think it's Florida, or is it Arizona? I can't remember. Regardless, that literally happened to my buddy. My buddy wanted to leave Vegas, and his condo that he bought in 2005 by like 2000, I forget, 10, 11, or 12, whenever it was, like 2010, it had no value. And no, like at one point, his condo, no lie, was valued at like $200,000. And then 5 years later, he couldn't get like 20 grand for it. True story. He literally walked. He literally just walked. He's like, bye forever. He's a Midwesterner too. Moved back to the Midwest. He just like left. He just left his condo. Just like the movie. Because he couldn't get anything for it. Nobody wanted to buy it. It had no value. Because everything was inflated. And that's kind of where we're at right now with the housing crisis. All these things are they're so expensive. They're so overpriced. There's a shortage of houses. There's a shortage of affordable houses. So like it creates overpriced, overinflated value. And then you get this. You get lots of houses that really are not even close to $500,000 houses that suddenly become $500,000 houses. It's crazy though. It really is. I mean, we're talking everything from Five Guys to the houses to, again, you look at the numbers of all this increase. Again, I didn't stress money at all 20 years ago, making $2,100 a month. I didn't stress it at all. The overall inflation has gone up 70%. 70% in 20 years. Let's pull out the calculator. So what would you have to make? So on my old salary, you'd have to make an extra $1,470 a month to max inflation. You have to make $17,640 more a year. It's just crazy, man. It's just like I see these videos and I feel bad again. I just don't know what you do. You put a pacifier in your mouth. That's what you do. You stress. You can't own a home. You can't afford anything. So you're 25, 26 years old and you put a pacifier in your mouth. and you just watch TikTok videos and cry yourself to sleep. I don't know what the solution is. I want everything to crash. I know that sounds crazy. I want my house's value to crash. I want the interest rates to drop again. That'll help. I want my rent lower or my mortgage lower. I want it all to crash. Make it more affordable again for people. But see, we just do this. We do this and it crashes and then we build it back up and then it's overvalued and it crashes. It's just it's not sustainable. I was talking to somebody today about it and she was like, I heard the average cost of a kid. She said, I was listening to a podcast and she goes, I heard the average cost per child is $18,000 a year. I laughed at her. I said, it's way more than that. $18,000 a year? That's what daycare costs. It doesn't include food. It doesn't include diapers. It doesn't include baby formula. It doesn't include medical stuff, clothes. I don't know what the average cost is. What do you think ChatGPT would say? The average cost. Let's pull it up. What is the average cost for a child? That's a generic thing. Okay. In the U.S., the average cost of raising a child, okay, this is from raising a child from birth to age 18, is currently estimated around $250,000 to $300,000. That doesn't include That doesn't include college. Yeah, these are way outdated. These figures come from the USDA data last updated in 2017. Okay, and adjusted for inflation. I think these numbers seem low, to be honest. Shocking. Important notes. Childcare is the biggest variable when conducting this. In high-cost metro areas, infant daycare alone can exceed $20,000 per year. Costs are also higher for firstborn children like cribs, strollers, gear, all that other stuff. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm not trying to be a downer this episode. I'm just trying to be real with everybody. I'm trying to be real with all the young kids out there. It's not cheap. It's not cheap. It's not cheap to have kids, man. And then they grow up and they stress out and they put in pacifiers. I do have a gay Greg update real quick to talk about. I've been sitting on this one for a couple weeks, to be honest, guys. I'm sorry. I haven't gotten to it. My neighbor, gay Greg, referred to gay Greg by me and some other neighbors. He's definitely gay. We know the whole 9 yards if you listen to this show. He's married. He's a grandfather. Lovely dude. He's hilarious. There's nothing about him that would make you think that he loves women, that would make you think that he's straight. Again, I don't really care. It's funny that he's putting on this facade. So I saw him and he's walking his little dog and he's asking me how Brittany and I met. And I said, well, we met on a dating app, Hinge. The dating app we met on, about 4 years ago. And he goes, oh, the dating apps. It's such a different time. I hear about these things. He's like at work. And again, he's a nurse practitioner. I guess he really is. I was debating before on this show if he really was one. I guess he is a nurse practitioner. So he starts talking about work and he's like, oh my God, I hear about these apps at work. One of the nurses I worked with, she said she was on, what's the one that everybody hooks up on? I was like, I don't know. There's a few, man. There's Hinge, there's Bumble, there's Tinder. He's like, it was Tinder. He goes, so she matched with this guy on Tinder and apparently he sent a dick pic. And she was showing us and she goes, it was small and curved to the right. And I'm thinking, did this really happen? That's always my thing with gay Greg. Did this really happen? You're sitting at work, you and all the nurses, and she's showing you a picture of some dude's penis that she met on Tinder? I don't know. I just don't see it happening, guys. I don't. He said it was small and curved to the right. You really think that happened? I don't think it did. I just think in 2025, that type of work discussion and picture sharing, I just don't think it's happening with HR, with everything that's out there as far as lawsuits, I just don't see it happening. Who knows? He's claiming it was happening. And then another time recently, he was talking about wearing shorts. He was in shorts. He always talks about if he's wearing shorts. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I never wear." It's always a lot of tension down on at his junk. He's always trying to pivot the conversation to look at his junk. He wants those eyes just locked down on his package. And he's like, "I'm so embarrassed. I'm in shorts." And we were out walking our kids, Brittany and the girls. We're all walking our kid. We're walking a couple little kids, a couple little girls. Why are you acting all embarrassed? Dude, it's 90 degrees and humid. Of course you're in shorts. You're not dressed like the opening scene of The Empire Strikes Back on planet Hoth. You're not in full Luke Skywalker or Han Solo gear. Bro, it's 90 degrees, humid as hell in Cincinnati, Ohio in August. Of course you're in shorts. Stop acting aghast when you're walking your dog in shorts. Oh my God, I'm in shorts. And he goes, "She doesn't like it when I wear shorts," talking about his wife. And then he's like, he goes, "I can't pull them off like Jeff. I can't pull them off." Talking about our other neighbor. He looks so good. And you know what? Here was the discussion that Brittany and I had when we got home. She goes, he was talking about his legs and that Jeff's legs and calves look bigger. I said, no, I think he was talking about his dick. And we were debating that. I go, no. The way he was acting and all that, like he wasn't talking about his legs look better. I go, because it all goes back to his penis. It does. It all goes back to the junk. I think he was talking to like his package doesn't look as good as our neighbors. I'm telling you, that's what he was doing. It's all just so weird. Buddy, just come out. Poor guy. You're 70 years old. Just be free. Like Gladiator, free at last. Free at last. Now we are free, right? That song they play? You guys probably don't know. I think that's the song title of one of those songs. The Gladiator, when he dies. It's like, now we are free. It's like one of those soundtrack songs that I actually like. You talking about your package. Talking about curved penises at work. You ain't doing that. You want to do it. You wish you could. Bless his heart. I'll tell you what, we had new neighbors move in again. It's like the fourth or fifth house that's sold in my street in the last 3 years. Again, overpriced on all these houses. I feel like we started it all. He's going to have the full gossip on the new neighbors. I know he will. He doesn't have to, though, because I already looked him up. It's crazy. You can learn everything. Everything. Literally just put in the new neighbors, put in their address into the Hamilton County property search. Boom, boom, boom. I know who owns the house. I put their names into Google. I'm on their LinkedIn. I'm on their Facebook. Maybe I'm creepy. I want to know what my neighbors do. I want to know who they are, what their background. I know everything about my new neighbors. Never even talked to them. They moved in 2 weeks ago. I know everything about them. I know where they went to college. I know what they do for work. I know everything. I know their work history. I know when they graduated from college. All from putting in an address. You can learn anything about anybody. Welcome to 2025. We got a hotline here at the Andy Ruther Show, 859-935-0078. Give a ring if you want. Again, anything is fair game here. Any questions for me, any comments, anything you want to talk about, drop a review. That's all helpful, guys. If you listen to the show, it's very helpful. Drop a review on Apple. Drop a review on Spotify. It'd be greatly appreciated. It all helps. All of it helps. Subscribe, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. All right, that's the show. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week. Peace.